Hello and welcome to your Week 5 Activity 1, FitBit Circuit. Our goal for this activity is to perform physical activities and then think about 3 things. 1, what's our RPE? Remember, RPE is our rating of perceived exertion, or how hard we're working. Our goal for today is to be between a 3 to an 8 on our RPE chart. Number 2, we're going to ask ourselves how we feel. For how we feel, we'll ask ourselves 2 questions. How pleasant do we feel? Using a scale of -5 to +5. Then we'll ask ourselves how much energy do we have? Again, using a scale of -5 to +5. And lastly, we'll ask ourselves how many steps do we have using our Fitbit. You'll need a few things for this activity. Make sure you're wearing your Fitbit, you have your yoga mat, your jump rope, your yoga cards, yoga dice, and a piece of paper and a pencil. Next, let's get this chart set up together. Draw 4 vertical lines and 5 horizontal lines. Let's get started with our warm-up. Join me in a march. We're pumping our arms and lifting our knees up nice and high. Beautiful. Okay, now we're gonna ask ourselves those 3 questions we talked about. As we're marching, what's our RPE? How hard are we working? Now stop and write down your RPE number from 1 to 10 for how hard you feel you're working right now as you're marching. I chose 2 because I feel like I could maintain this intensity for hours and I can hold a regular conversation without running out of breath. And let's keep marching. Now ask ourselves, on a scale of -5 to +5, how pleasant or happy do we feel? -5 being very unhappy and +5 being very happy. And then write that number down. Next, how much energy do we have? -5 being very low energy and +5 being a lot of energy. Then write that number down. And last, how many total steps do we have on our Fitbit? Then write that number down. It's time for us to start our physical activity circuit. We have 3 exercises. We'll do each exercise for 30 seconds. Then we'll start marching in place for 30 seconds. And during these 30 seconds, we're calling them our active recovery, where we'll catch our breath and answer these questions together. Our goal for this activity is to see how our RPE changes, our happiness or pleasantness, our energy changes, and our steps change. Then at the end of the activity, once your entire chart is filled out, you'll create a video showing your classmates your chart and talking us through how you felt at different intensities. Are you ready for our Fitbit circuit? Our first circuit is walking. Your goal is to walk around your house for 30 seconds at a light to moderate intensity. Ready? Go! And time to start marching. We have our 30 seconds of active recovery. Time to fill in our chart. What's your RPE on a scale from 1 to 10? On a scale of -5 to +5, how happy do you feel? -5 to +5, how energetic do you feel? And how many steps do we have right now? Once your chart is filled out, keep marching and get ready for our circuit number 2. All right, 30 seconds, any jump rope style we want. Ready? Go. And well, let's keep on dancing. 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 Great job. Keep moving. Go to any speed or any style of jump rope. Feel you. Keep going. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, march it out. Awesome. Now it's time to fill out our chart. First, RPE. How do we feel on a scale of 1 to 10? Let's write that down. Time for activity 3, push-ups. We can start in a kneeling position, walking our hands out to their underneath our shoulders, and begin whenever we're ready. Remember to keep breathing, keep our back flat. We have the option to go up to our toes and do push-ups from there, whichever feels best for us. And stop. Time to march it out and complete our chart for activity number 3. And now it's time for our yoga cool down. Grab our yoga dice and roll them out. Then find the cards that match your pose. Once you have the cards that match your dice, go ahead and pause this video and spend 30 seconds doing each pose. For example, for Lotus, you'll perform this pose for 30 seconds. But for Meerkat, since this happens on the right side and on the left side, make sure you do both sides for 30 seconds. Congrats, we did it. We finished our FitBit Circuit. Now it's time for you to make a video sharing your chart with your classmates. Tell us which activity had the highest RPE. Then, which activity had the highest pleasantness or happiness? Which activity had the highest energy levels? And how many total steps did we take from the beginning of the activity until the end of the activity? To find this number, first enter your total number of steps at the end of the activity. Then subtract the steps that you had when you started this activity. Press equals and you'll get your total steps completed throughout this activity. You can talk about which exercise was your favorite, which you liked the least, how you felt during or after them, and why. There's no right or wrong thing to talk about. Just talk us through your chart and how you felt during and after this FitBit circuit. Lastly, as you're reflecting on your steps, don't forget to think about how many steps we should try to get each day. Remember, the closer to 10,000 steps per day we get, the better. Find a number that feels good for you and see if you can slowly work your way up to 10,000 steps per day. We'll see you next time. Bye.